Perspective. It's an amazing word. It defines our attitude about a subject or a particular matter, but it also defines, in large part, our attitude toward those who are involved in the issue or the subject or the matter with us. Hi, this is Barry Phillips. So 10-minute Torah, day 1 of Emor, speak, more softly to say. And we are in Vayikra, Leviticus, chapter number 21. And as is usual, let's start with verse 1. And Yahweh said to Moshe, Speak, Emor, to the priests, to the sons of Aaron, and say, again, Emor, to them, no one is to be defiled for the dead among his people, except for his relatives who are nearest to him, for his mother, and for his father, and for his son, and for his daughter, and for his brother, and for his maiden sister who is near to him, who is no husband. For her he is defiled. A leader does not defile himself among his people to profane himself. The other day, my wife Laura said something about, I need something that's encouraging. I thought, the next series of Torah portions, I'm going to try to be a little more encouraging. And then we begin with the subject of death. I don't know how encouraging we can be with this, but I think we may be able to accomplish this today. Yah is showing the attitude of compassion. Now, at first glance, it seems that he is placing restrictions and narrow boundaries around those who are called to walk closest to him, that is the Levitical priesthood. But let's look at it from a different perspective, a different angle. If we had seen this as narrow-minded and restrictive and him pointing his finger, don't you be defiled now, we might would have an attitude of, why does he have to be so harsh? And again, our attitude toward him may be that of a negative connotation. Let's turn the perspective around. Death does not belong in the realm of life. Yes, now death is a natural part of life, but this is a different consideration of realms here. We're talking about the ultimate expression of life in the earth, that is the manifested divine presence of the Most High in the center of Israel. The epicenter of Israel is filled with the aspect of life, the joy of his presence, celebration, the sounds of rejoicing, the intercessions of prayers, the smoke of offerings. Wait a minute, Barry. What about all those dead animals? Again, one more time. We've shared this before, but when an animal is brought, whether it's a bull or a lamb or a goat, when it's brought to be presented to the altar, it's not the idea, well, let's kill an animal. It is, let's release the life that is in the animal through its blood. We've read recently, back in chapter number 17, that life is in the blood. And so when the blood is released, the life of the animal is being released to a higher purpose than merely grazing in the field and consuming grass or whatever it is that they would eat. Plus, the animal is also in its entirety elevated to a place of going up before the Most High. So this animal that would have just lived, procreated, died, and been buried in the ground is used for an extreme holy and set-apart purpose. And so there is even elevation involved in its life. Again, we're talking about the realm of life here. However, the physical realm of life does come into play when the natural body doesn't keep up anymore and the priest begins to experience loss within his family. So his parents die. And Yah is saying concerning this, I understand that you would not be able to come into my presence and totally focus on me and life and the expressions of joy when you're in a state of grief and mourning. So I open up the boundaries. I enlarge the place for you to receive my compassion, that you may deal with the death of your family members, those that are closest to you, and that you can grieve for them, and that you can mourn with them. You can bury their bodies. You can take care of what your responsibilities are. When that's completed, then you can be cleansed and come back into my presence. But leadership does not defile themselves. It's important that we understand that when Yah calls us to any role of leadership, however it is manifested, that there is a call to integrity, yes. A call to accountability, yes. A call to responsibility, yes. But there's also a call to discerning and understanding the destiny and the appointed goal for which Yah has entrusted you a role of leadership. Is it to lead your family? Is it to lead a congregation? Is it to lead a community? Are you over several congregations? Are you a leader on your job? However it manifests in your life, it's not a role that is about you, where you have to make sure that those that are under your authority stay under your authority and that they know their place, but rather that you're building them up and encouraging them, training, equipping them to do more than what they previously understood how to do. It comes down to a simple phrase here. I think Yah is saying to us, even in the realm of when death and grief and mourning comes, and it comes to all of us, even in those moments, we cannot afford to lose the reality of who He is and where His presence is revealed. We're talking again about the manifested presence of the Most High. And I hear Yah asking us this question as we read these verses. Can I trust you? Can I trust you with this? When I was in my early teens, I was very apt to display a hot temper. Now, I know that just doesn't seem possible now, but, I've not always been the teddy bear that I am now. When I was, again, a young teen, preteen, I had a hot temper and I would act out without discernment and discretion. My dad came to me one time in those days and he told me something I've never forgotten. He said, son, I've wanted to buy you a pocket knife. I've wanted to buy you a BB gun or 22. He said, but with your temper, I cannot trust you with these things. And I heard my dad saying, I want to teach you, I want to share with you, I want to advance you, I want to bless you with certain things. But your demonstration is that I can't trust you. It wasn't that I couldn't have the pocket knife that was disappointing to me. It was that my dad didn't trust me. And so I made it a point to set out learning to control my temper. Go outside and scream, go hug a tree, go punch a tree, go do something other, but stop acting out with indiscretion here and with problems. I eventually got the pocket knife. I eventually got the BB gun. I eventually got a 22. It took a long time. Yah is asking us, can I trust you? We want to prove ourselves trustworthy with something much more valuable than these things I mentioned. It's the divine presence of the Most High, the greatest commodity on the face of the earth. Let's prove ourselves trustworthy. I'll see you again tomorrow. Till then, shalom.